Blitz Dragon impreg you? And all this lore's coming from the mating manual. There's a lot of people who would love to dive into the wonders of the draconic lore and figure out what lies on the other side. Or ladies who would love to try to climb into a tank dragon song and use it like a sleeping bag. But can they impreg you? For that matter, can a Blitz Dragon even impregnate you? The first thing that we need to understand is that there is a huge difference between a tank dragon, a sky dancer, and a Blitz Dragon. Mostly in the sense that when we talk about dragons, we have to break them in two categories when we discuss reproduction. Tank dragons and sky dancer dragons do have the ability to reproduce with other species. And that's because of their biology. Yes, all dragons do have draconic wild DNA. And wild DNA is basically something that allows creatures that normally shouldn't be able to reproduce a viable offspring, typically used by the Fae, which is why you end up with things like apple mimics. A Fae banged an apple and created an apple mimic. But the thing about reproducing, even with wild DNA, the carrier system still has to be viable. And so what I mean by that is when we look at a sky dancer reproductive system, if you look at the sperm dome, in the inside, you will notice that there is still sperm that has to come out, go into the sperm dome, and then coats the egg, which allows for the fertilization of it and thus a baby dragon. And when we look at a tank dragon, a very similar process happens when the cervix dock actually connects, sperm flows in, goes into getting pressurized and treated, and then the spermies collect with the egg, and thus the eggs form, and then boom, baby dragon. But when we look at the delivery system of a Blitz Dragon using the Volo method system, it's vastly different because there is no sperm. When the Volo pads rub together, they literally transmit DNA across the spectrum and then just impregnates the egg directly. The Volo pads are situated around the uteruses in a certain way that allows the Volo pads to actually transmit the DNA through the tissue into the egg itself. So if we're talking about can a Blitz Dragon impregnate a man or a woman, the answer is no. Because the Volo pads do not have the ability to transmit this DNA through normal skin. It has to go volopad to volopad, and then a special system that allows the volopad to send the DNA through these openings into the egg. And so if a Blitz Dragon just rubbed his stomach against your stomach, it's not going to impregnate you. And this system is so specialized to Blitz Dragons and can result in pregnancy so easily within their own species that they even have to come up with special forms of birth control, such as a denning pad, which is a form of blankets that Blitz Dragons will lay in this general area or an apron that is constructed of certain materials that prevents the sperm from transmitting. And the second method of birth control is called a tourney stall, which is basically when one egg gets pregnated, this thing right here is called a tourney, and it will literally turn the uteruses so the unpregnated egg can basically get its turn to get impregnated. And it will link up with the back Lynchen cup, which allows for the delivery of the child, as we can see here. But what a tourney stall does is an invasive process that literally stalls the tourney halfway. So even if two Blitz Dragons are linked up, there is no uterus that it's touching to transmit the DNA to. But if you want to know more, grab a Ruby Gold sub so you can get access to the mating manual entries as they get done and be able to give me feedback. Because when the book is done, we are going to be shipping out physical copies so you can understand how the world actually works. And I am officially hosting a fan art writing contest for a $250 prize. The rules are simple. You write fan fiction from any of my series or featuring any characters from my lore, and you drop it into the November fan art contest challenge. By December 14th, we'll read it, we'll judge, and you will get to cast some votes as well, and then the winner will be announced.